I never believed betrayal would come wearing the face I kissed every morning. It wasn't a dramatic discovery, no lipstick on a collar, no whispered phone calls, just a quiet, accidental click on a message that wasn't meant for me. Words so casual, so transactional that they didn't even sound like love. It wasn't love, it was an exchange. My name was currency, my presence a convenience. She wasn't leaving me for another man. She was selling herself for something bigger. Money, status, security. I closed the message, my hands steady. No shouting. No confrontation. Just silence. Silence, I realized, could be a weapon sharper than any blade. That night I lay beside her, feeling the weight of the truth press against my ribs. She slept peacefully, dreaming in a bed I paid for, under a roof I built. My chest rose and fell in rhythm with hers. But I was already somewhere else, mapping every step, every move I would take. I wouldn't break things in a fit of rage. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of seeing me unravel. No, I would become a ghost in her perfect little world, slipping into the cracks and loosening every stone she stood on. She would never see me coming, and when she finally looked down, the ground beneath her would already be gone. The first step was simple. Stop fixing her mistakes. She was reckless with bills, careless with deadlines. Usually, I'd quietly handle it, pay off what she forgot, smooth over the damage. Not anymore. I let the late notices pile up. I stopped answering calls from people she owed. She thought it was the bank's fault, a glitch in the system. I watched her frustration grow, the first ripple in the still water. It was satisfying, but this was only the beginning. I had to dismantle her world, piece by piece, so slow she wouldn't notice until she was standing in ruins. I started pulling threads she didn't even know were holding her life together. Friends she trusted? I let small truths slip, nothing outright, just enough to plant doubt. A comment here, a half smile there, and suddenly they were canceling plans with her. Work opportunities she bragged about, quietly intercepted, an email misplaced, a number blocked. She thought it was bad luck, the universe testing her. I knew better. I was the storm she didn't see forming. And still, every night, I kissed her forehead like nothing was wrong. She smiled in her sleep, unaware the walls were closing in. Her world ran on image. Social media wasn't just a hobby, it was her stage. She needed likes the way lungs need air, so I fed her audience little cracks in the facade. Old photos resurfaced at the right time. Stories that didn't match up began to circulate. She tried harder, posting more, smiling wider. But desperation has a smell, and people noticed. Her followers began to fade, slowly at first, then in waves. She begged me to help with her online brand. I promised I would look into it. I never did. Watching her fame wither was the sweetest silence. I didn't touch her money directly. I didn't have to. I knew where she hid her savings, the investments she thought I didn't notice. One phone call to the right person, one quiet rumor in the wrong ear, and those safe investments collapsed. She panicked, thinking it was the market. I watched her cut back on luxuries, cancel subscriptions, sell pieces she once swore she'd never part with. Every item gone was another reminder that her world was shrinking. And through it all, I remained her calm, dependable partner, the one constant in a life she didn't realize I was dismantling. She started staying up late, scrolling endlessly, looking for someone to blame. I made sure the trail was clean. No fingerprints, no clues, nothing to tie back to me. The beauty of slow destruction is that it looks like coincidence. She ranted about her bad luck, about people turning on her for no reason. I nodded, poured her wine, and agreed the world was cruel. All the while, I was tightening the noose, one loop at a time. She had no idea, The worst was yet to come. I wanted her to feel safe right before I pulled it all away. Her family was next. They loved me, trusted me, so when I accidentally let slip a few truths about her spending, her lies, her nights out, they believed me. I never said she cheated. I didn't have to. They filled in the blanks themselves. Calls from her mother grew colder. Invitations from her sister stopped coming. Holidays became awkward silences and short visits. She cried after one particularly tense dinner, wondering why they were so distant. I held her close, murmuring that people change, that maybe they were just busy. Inside, I was smiling. Isolation was the most beautiful cage. By now, she had lost her shine. The confident woman I once knew was replaced by someone twitchy, uncertain, and fragile. She wore her anxiety like a second skin. I could see her searching my face for answers, for reassurance, but I gave her just enough warmth to keep her from suspecting me. Every smile from me was a hook, keeping her tethered while I reeled her in. I wanted her to cling to me, to make me her last lifeline, because when I finally let go, she wouldn't just fall, she would drown, and I would be the one watching the tide. Her health began to crack next. Stress carved shadows under her eyes, and sleepless nights made her movements sluggish. She started missing work, forgetting simple things, misplacing her phone and keys. I encouraged her to take time for herself, knowing that every absence made her less reliable in her boss's eyes. When the warning email came from HR, I saw her hands tremble as she read it. She asked me if I thought she was losing it. I told her she just needed rest. In reality, she was losing far more than her mind. She was losing every pillar that held her up, the man she betrayed me for. I made sure he saw the cracks too. I sent whispers his way, subtle, believable doubts about her loyalty, her debts, her past. Not enough to make him leave instantly, but enough to make him watch her differently. His texts became colder, his patience shorter. She complained to me about his distance, unaware I was the architect of it. Soon, his support faded. The money, the gifts, the promises, gone. She didn't know which loss hurt more, his withdrawal or the slow realization that she had gambled everything and was now holding nothing. I began to withdraw small pieces of myself too. Not enough to trigger alarm, just enough for her to feel the shift. A delayed reply here, a missed call there. I stopped offering comfort when she cried. She didn't see it yet, but I was preparing her for the final act, the moment when I would step away completely. One night, she broke down completely, said she felt cursed, that everything she touched fell apart. She asked me if I believed in karma. I told her I did, and sometimes karma wears a familiar face. She didn't understand at first. She searched my eyes, looking for the man she thought she knew. All she saw was calm, steady control. I didn't need to yell. My revenge was already written into every corner of her life. I was just there to watch her finally notice the pattern. The silence between us that night was the loudest it had ever been. The job went first. A polite but firm email severed her position. She tried to appeal, but her reputation had already been quietly dismantled. Then her friends, what few she had left, stopped answering entirely. She sat in the kitchen one evening, phone in hand, staring at the emptiness of her notifications. I watched her thumb hover over my name, then retreat. She didn't want to push me away, not when I was the only person still standing beside her. She didn't realize I was there not out of love, but to witness the complete unraveling I had designed from the start. She sold her car next, too many missed payments, then the apartment she once bragged about, gone, swallowed by debts she could no longer juggle. She moved into a small, damp space on the edge of town, a place so far from the life she had built that it might as well have been another planet. I helped her carry boxes, smiling at the irony. She thanked me for staying, for supporting her through hard times. I told her I'd always be there for her. And in a way, I was, just not in the way she believed. My presence was poison. I stopped visiting as often. Weeks would pass between messages. She started chasing me, sending long, emotional texts, begging for time together. I let most of them sit unread. When I did reply, my words were short, polite, distant. She felt it slipping away, but didn't dare confront me. She had nothing left to offer, nothing left to bargain with. I wanted her to sit in that realization, to feel the weight of what she had traded me for. The man she betrayed me for was long gone, and now I was preparing to leave her with the ruins. The day I finally walked away was quiet. No fight, no tears from me. I simply told her I was done. She asked why. Her voice small, broken. I told her the truth. Not all of it, just enough. That I knew. That I had always known. That everything she lost wasn't bad luck, it was me. She stared at me like I was a stranger. In a way, I was. I left her standing in that small, dim apartment, surrounded by silence. She didn't follow me. She didn't have the strength. And I didn't look back. My work was complete. Weeks passed before she reached out again. Her messages were long, desperate, full of apologies she had never made before. She said she missed me, that she'd change, that she didn't know what she was doing back then. I read them without replying. Every word was a reminder of the power I now held, not over her choices, but over her peace. She wanted closure, but closure is mercy. And mercy was something she had never shown me. She had to live with the questions, the what-ifs, the replay of every moment that led her here. That was the real sentence. I watched from a distance as she tried to rebuild. Every attempt was smaller, weaker than the last. She reached out to old friends. They didn't answer. Applied for jobs. No offers came. Posted on social media. Silence. It was as if the world had moved on without her. And in truth, it had. She had gambled with people's trust and lost it forever. I didn't need to interfere anymore. The beauty of a slow, precise revenge is that it keeps working long after you stop. Her life was now a cage she had built with my help, and I held the key. Sometimes I think about telling her everything, about showing her the blueprint I followed, the patience it took to dismantle her so completely. But then I remember, that would give her too much. She doesn't deserve to understand. She doesn't deserve to name what happened to her. All she needs to know is that actions have weight. And when you trade love for greed, the cost is more than you can pay. I left her in the same silence she once gave me. And somewhere, in the quiet corners of her mind, she knows karma didn't find her by accident.